Hello everyone, welcome to my free online tutorial for the new SAT Math section. The problem that you see on your screen right now is taken from the second practice test in the official SAT study guide just released by College Board in preparation for the new SAT exam that will start from March of 2016. Okay, so practice test 2, problem number 3, section 3, no calculator. So it gives you a word problem and it tests your understanding of the symbols involved, right? So let's see. A landscaping company estimates the price of a job in dollars using the expression 60 plus 12 times n times h, where n is the number of landscapers who will be working and h is the total number of hours the job will take using n landscapers. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 12 in the expression? Okay, so you're giving several choices here, and the first one reads the company charges 12 per hour for each landscaper. The second one, a minimum of 12 landscapers will work on each job. Choice C says the price of every job increases by 12 every hour, and choice D, each landscaper works 12 hours a day. Right, so first of all, you can ward off D, you can cross it out because there's nothing indicated whatsoever about what the day is. There's no mention anywhere of the there's no word day anywhere here, so we don't know how long the job is, right? So choice D doesn't make sense whatsoever. Now, choice C kind of it could make sense. Let's see. The price of every job increases by 12 every hour, right? So when you increase, when you set n equal to 1, you will see that for every increase of h by 1, the price will increase by 12. But it only works when n is equal to 1, right? When n is equal to 2 or more, 2 or greater, we will have the increase by more than 12. We'll have 24, 48, and so on and so on. Okay, so it's not going to work for every n. It's going to only work when n is equal to 1. Now B, it says a minimum of 12 landscapers will work on each job. Now that doesn't really make sense because the number of landscapers will depend on the number n, right? Because there are n landscapers working, right? So n could be equal to 1, and that's one landscaper only, right? So a minimum of 12 doesn't make sense. So we have to understand really, by eliminating all these answer choices, we can arrive at choice A, right? The company charges 12 per hour for each landscaper. But let's explore several ways of understanding why this works. Choice A. So the College Board in their SAT prep guide, they explain that n times h is the total number of hours worked when n landscapers work h hours, right? And remember, they can work simultaneously, so you have to really kind of abstractly understand what it means, the total number of hours, right? They could work at the same time, but they can work for 5 hours, but if there are 5 landscapers working 5 hours at the same time, they're going to work 25 hours, right? Even though they're going to work at the same time. So this is what n times h mean, the total number of hours. And it could be overlapped together. All these hours can take place at the same time. We're talking about the total number of hours combined, the combined number of hours for each landscaper, right? So you're going to combine h hours for one landscaper, you're going to combine it for the second landscaper, you're going to add it all up, and you're going to have n times h as the total number of hours worked by n landscapers, each working h hours. Okay, so 12 multiplies this amount. So you got to understand that since 12 multiplies this total amount, that the company must charge 12 per hour for each landscaper, right? Because n times h is the total number of hours worked when n landscapers work h hours, right? So, but if you don't understand how this works, if you find it a little bit abstract to understand it, to arrive at this conclusion, I give you the second method to explore. So you can see here, when you increase h by 1, you can rewrite this given expression here in the problem, you can have 60 plus 12 times n, and then increase h by 1 and see what happens. So when you expand this, we're going to have 60 plus 12 times nh, which is the original expression, and then we add something to it, right? We're going to add 12 times n. Now 12 times n is going to be the additional amount charged by the company, because the given n number of landscapers worked 1 extra hour. So the company would give 12 times n as the total amount added, additional amount. Now since 12 times n, and n is the number of landscapers, right, that worked this extra hour that we added, that means that each of those landscapers would get 12, right, evenly, right? You have to distribute this additional amount, 12 times n, evenly per every landscaper, right? Because there are n such landscapers. So 12 times n will be distributed evenly per each landscaper working an extra hour. So this already should tell you that it looks like choice A. The company charges 12 per hour for each landscaper. But let's now increase the number of landscapers and keep the number of hours fixed. Right? Let's see what happens. So the company's like, oh, we're gonna have one more landscaper. So let's see what the additional amount would be like. So 60 plus 12 times n plus 1 times h. We would have 60 plus 12n times h, which is again the same as the given expression, and the additional amount will be 12 times h. So that's going to be the additional that the company would charge if it would invite one more landscaper into the board, right? So and that makes sense because this one more landscaper that joined the company, right, that joined this the task, would have to work the fixed number of hours, just like everyone else, all other landscapers. So that means that he would have to get $12 per hour, right? This this one more landscaper that joins the board. So which makes sense, and so these both equations here that we experimented with, they prove that actually the company charges $12 per hour for each landscaper, right? So we played around with the number of hours, we added one more hour and saw that the extra amount would be 12 times n, which would imply that each landscaper would get $12 for the additional hour worked. And also we played around with adding one more landscaper and keeping the same number of hours, and we would get 60 plus 12 times n and h, and we would get the additional amount of 12 times h. And that makes sense because this new landscaper would have to work h hours, and he would have to get 12 times the number of hours worked, so which means that per each hour he got 12, because if h was equal to 1, he would get $12. If h was equal to 2, he would get $24. So the company would charge per hour per each landscaper, right? So choice A makes complete sense this way.